Howdy, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the Sunday Social Podcast. I mean, to Dylan, it's a live stream. To me, it's a podcast. But either way, we're here, we're having fun, and we're ready to answer all your questions. But first, let's get rid of those inactives first. All right, Chuba Hubbard was ruled out for the Panthers. Jamar Chase was officially ruled out considering he's not on IR. DeAndre Swift is going to play. All right, but he's going to be on a snap count. You got Josh Reynolds. He's doubtful for the Lions. So you got Khalif Raymond stepping up for him. You got Al Lazard, who is questionable with the shoulder. He's expected to be a game-time call. So that one I'm a little worried about here. You got Jonathan Taylor, who was ruled out in the beginning of the week. So you're starting Deion Jackson. You got Keenan Allen, who was ruled out as well. Same with Mike Williams. Kind of sucks for Herbert, but next man up. You had DeAndre Carter, who was the next man up for the Chargers. He was questionable with an illness. He'll be good to go with Joshua Palmer as well. He does not have that concussion anymore. Let's see. Darren Waller was officially doubtful or ruled out with the hamstring. I think they're just worried about re-aggravating it. I remember seeing there. Damian Harris is questionable, but it's not looking great for him. It's kind of looking downward for Damian Harris, which would give Pierre Strong a little bit more of a uptick, possibly, but he's also questionable with the hamstring as well. It's Ramondre Stevenson to the moon, guys. James Robinson is doubtful. He was a late add to the week for the Jets. Gives a little bit more of a boost to Michael Carter's value. You got Corey Davis, who's out with the knee. You got Jahan Dotson, who is out with the hamstring. And this one actually caught me off guard, but J.D. McKissick ruled out, leaving just Gibson and Brian Robinson in that backfield for the Commanders. We got a lot of injuries this week. James Conner, questionable with the ribs. He is likely to play, I seen. Van Jefferson, he was questionable with the knee. He is also likely to play. Russell Gage for the Tampa Bay Bucks. He was ruled out with the hamstring. You also got Cameron Brate, who's still out, so Cade Otton's taking that spot for now. Ryan Tannehill, he traveled to Kansas City, so he's looking like he's going to try and play here, but it is going to be all dependent on the pregame warm-up here. So there's a real solid chance we could see Malik Willis again. It really depends on how Tannehill feels with that Sunday night game. That's the down part, though. It's a Sunday night game.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
But that pretty much covers it up for me with all the injuries that I got.
We got to jump right in. Yeah, we got a live question here from Tone. AJ Dillon or Kenyon Drake, Mike?
That's Kenyon Drake for me. Gus Edwards is doubtful. I do like the matchup with AJ Dillon against the Lions, but he has to deal with the Aaron Jones. Kenyon Drake it's just Kenyon Drake. I mean, you got Justice Hill, but he hasn't been that great.
I think I'd rather. We're not really going to be helping Tone here, but I would.
You really are going to go AJ Dillon?
And because of the matchup, man, against the Lions. The Packers need to get the ground game absolutely pounding because their pass game's been crap, man.
And they have actually had the ground game actually kind of working the past couple weeks. And you know who hasn't been working a part of that? AJ Dillon. It's been Aaron Jones. That's the only thing that they've been actually productively getting on the ground. It's not AJ Dillon. Like, it could be the week that he could do it, but you know what? I'm not going to play it on a could. I'm gonna go with Kenyon Drake, knowing that he's going to get the bigger workload.
I hear you. Who would you start, Brady or Geno Smith?
What's up, Dion? It's always nice seeing you here, man. Oh man, Seahawks play the Cardinals. Brady plays the Rams. I think I'm leaning Geno Smith on this one.
That's where I lean too. I don't love it here against the Cardinals with it being a divisional matchup and stuff. I don't have what Geno did. They just played a couple weeks ago. Can you pull up what Geno did against the Cardinals?
Do you know what week it was?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
All right. Yeah, I can pull it up. I just needed to know the week, so I wasn't just guessing over here. QB Geno Smith against the Cardinals was 20-31 for 197 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Yeah, it's just a divisional slog, man. It couldn't, so it's tough to say.
Yeah, but this was before the Cardinals had Hopkins. They didn't have Hopkins. Hopkins has kind of unlocked the offense for the Cardinals a little bit more, in my opinion. So it in this game, in the past game, Geno Smith won 19-9 against Arizona. Do you see
Yeah.
Arizona only scoring 9 points again today?
Not today, Zerg.
Not today. So that's why I lean a little bit more Geno Smith, because you're going to have that negative game script possibly in his favor, where Tom Brady's just going to get his ass sacked all day.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. I lean Geno Smith as well, Dion. We got last minute lineup question. Should I start Khalil Herbert over Jamal Williams? Opponent has Swift, who is still questionable. Swift's probably gonna play, man.
Snap count.
Yep. I would go Jamal Williams. We've seen him score touchdowns time and time again. Swift's limited. The Packers defense isn't very good against the run either, which this defense is supposed to be good, Mike. It's just struggling a little bit. Definitely better against the pass than the run.
Definitely better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I would lean Jamal Williams, even though Khalil Herbert is starting to eat into Montgomery's stuff. Yeah, I go Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I go Jamal Williams or Khalil Herbert. He's still got to deal with Montgomery, and Jamal Williams is only going to be dealing with a DeAndre Swift on a snap count.
Yeah, for sure. I got another one from Fame Tiger. Good morning. Help me choose a flex, please. We got Terry McLaurin,
Morning, man.
David Montgomery, Deion Jackson, Christian Kirk, James Conner, Evan Ingram. Man, those are some good options.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Everything's telling me.
Play is, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Deion Jackson, man. To be honest with you, that's
what it's leading me.
That's the first name that like jumped out to me, because we saw what he did the last time Jonathan Taylor was out. I get it, Matt Ryan was the quarterback, and Matt Ryan's kind of dink and dunk down the field, man. So that might hurt Jackson a little bit. But James Conner, the rib injury scares me. I don't like flexing a tight end in Evan Ingram. He's been good. McLaurin's been better with Heineke, Mike. So that's tough. Christian Kirk is Christian Kirk too. That's our guy. We talked him up all offseason, and we're still pleased with him. But so where are you going here?
I lean Deion Jackson as the safe route. I mean, he's going to get them out of everyone here. He's going to get the most total opportunities, most total touches. So he's the safest option. But when it comes to a ceiling, I actually kind of lean Christian Kirk a little bit more in this situation, because they do play the Raiders. The Raiders allow the most points to quarterbacks per game. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has got to throw to someone. It's not going to be Marvin Jones that much, I don't think, because he just posted a goose egg last week. You do have Evan Ingram as an option here. He does get, flirted with targets, but Christian Kirk just gets a little bit more targets. And that's why I think he's the ceiling play in this situation. But I would lean Deion Jackson just to play it safe. We did see how much opportunity he got, and it was like 20 total touches, which, I mean, McLaurin's not going to get close to that. Montgomery's not going to – he might get close, but Khalil Herbert's going to take that away. Kirk's not getting 20 targets. James Conner, if he's healthy, can maybe get it, but that's his problem. And then Evan Ingram ain't getting it.
Yeah, I hear you. And then he's got to follow up. Weak-ass Lamar or big balls Geno? I got to go with Lamar still, man.
I still go with Lamar. Yeah, he's still a top if I remember, top 5 quarterback and so far leading through the season. I'll double check that real quick.
From friend Sean, is Kenyon Drake a solid RB2 with Gus Bus most likely not playing? Mike, I'll leave that to you. You talked about Kenyon Drake a little bit already, so give your thoughts again.
Sean, first of all, I always look really bald. And Kenyon Drake here. I do think he's a solid RB2 here against the Saints. Gus Bus is doubtful. He's not going to play. So we are looking like a Kenyon Drake, all him. Now, I'm curious here of your other options besides Kenyon Drake. But I do like Kenyon Drake as a low-end RB2, not a high-end RB2, but a low-end RB2.
Yep.
And then we got one from our buddy.
I tend to agree with you. Go ahead, pull it up.
What's up, Ike? Why don't you want to be on our podcast with us? I'm just kidding.
Live stream.
Podcast live stream. Suck it. I don't care. Isaiah Likely this week. Thoughts, Dylan? I've already given my thoughts a little bit on him. I'll rehash it after you.
I think he's a solid play, man. Mark Andrews is listed as doubtful, which is very disappointing. But I think he's a solid play. He should see, I would assume, 6 to 8 targets in the offense. And I know Lamar gets a little flack with his throwing ability, but he loves those seam routes to tight ends right in the middle of the field. So that's I think Isaiah likely no pun intended, to slot right into that Mark Andrews role and be very solid.
Yeah, Likely had 67.1% of the snaps after Mark Andrews came out, so it was clearly his backup role, and he did good with it. So, given the terrible landscape for tight ends, I do think Likely and the way Baltimore uses their tight ends, I do think he's a top 10 play this week. I mean, but let's put that in perspective, guys. Top 10 tight end is a lot different than a top 10 wide receiver, running back, quarterback. Big difference. So,
yeah, very true. What's up, Dino? I have 5 guys on a bye. Woof.
Oh, Lord.
It's tough out in those streets, man.
Yes, it is.
12-point PPR. My flex options are Kendrick Bourne or Mike Gesicki. I actually don't hate the Gesicki play today. Bears defense is they traded away their 2 best players. I know the wind is wild around us right now, Mike, and it's probably going to be crazy in Chicago today, right on the lake too. So that scares me a little bit, Dean. But I'd still go with Gesicki. He's hit or miss. Hopefully you get the hit today.
Man, I'm never good flexing at tight end. I mean,
yeah,
Gesicki is the definition of touchdown dependent. I think I lean Bourne. I know that doesn't really help you, Dean, because he went Gesicki, but I lean Bourne just because I just said it. Top 10 tight end. Big difference between a top 10 wide receiver, running back, or quarterback. Even if Gesicki probably does crack the top 10, is he going to actually score more points than Kendrick Bourne?
I just assume
the only way he does is a touchdown, in my opinion. That's all.
I think Gesicki might play more snaps and run more routes than Kendrick Bourne. To be honest with you, I feel like I don't have anything. I don't have any stats pulled up. But where is Kendrick? Has Kendrick Bourne done anything all year for the Patriots? I feel like he's not. We can pull up fantasy. We can pull up fantasy data real quick or something and see how many snaps he's played. But that's what worries me about it. At least Gesicki is going to be on the field. And like I said, I don't have any data to back this up. I just feel like Bourne's been non-existent because you got, Hunter Henry there. You got Jacoby Myers, who he's
been injured. That's the problem. That's
you have Nelson Aguilar still too. Okay, I hear you. That's fine.
Yeah, because he's not even registering on the snap percentage for it because he has been injured too much.
Go see if he changed the tab to 0 snaps per game, and he'll show up.
All right. Oh, there he is.
Over on our friends from Fantasy Data, guys. If you want some in-depth stats over there, if you're looking to do some research yourself, head on over to Fantasy Data.
Good call, Dylan. I didn't know that. He's played 25% of the snaps.
Yeah.
I can go to the game last week. Let's go to the game last week and see what he did. He played 69% of the snaps last week.
So it's getting better.
That's third to Tyquan Thornton.
Sure, that's another guy I didn't named off. That's why it scares me. I think Gesicki's the number 3 target behind Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So I think that's where I lean. So yeah, sorry, Dino. Sorry we didn't really help you. You still leaning more?
It's just I still lean Barnes. I mean, because you could get that 7 target a week from Mike Gesicki, or you can get like week 3 and he only got 1 target, or week 1 where he only got 1 target. Yeah. Or last week where only got 4. I mean, even in a game where they were,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Even in a game where they were throwing a lot against the Lions and they needed to, he only got 4 targets. Yep. One of them was a touchdown, though. That's what helped him.
Sure. Sorry, skipped you, Dion. Also, I traded Henry, Murray, Gibson, Foreman for McCaffrey and Sanders. You think I made a mistake? I have Elliott, Etienne as my other running backs on my team. So you traded Derrick Henry, Murray, Gibson, Foreman. You did give up a lot there, Dion.
Yeah, you gave up a lot there.
I do like C-Mac rest of the season over Derrick Henry, but it's really close. Derrick Henry's really good. I mean, he said he still got Etienne and Elliott. You did give up quite a bit because Foreman's been really good. Gibson's been good. Murray's been hit or miss.
You're going to be playing McCaffrey and Etienne and Sanders over Elliott every week, most likely. So, Elliott's a good depth piece there. But, I mean, I am a little – depending on, who's your backup quarterback that you could give up Kyler Murray with? Because now who are you rocking with? Because that's my biggest concern is that you did kind of give up a lot to get C-Mac.
Yeah.
Now it could work out in your favor if you have the backups, but my biggest concern here is who's your quarterback now without Kyler Murray? Because, it's slim pickings. It's not as good as we thought it was going to be this year for quarterbacks.
Yep.
You got Mariota, QB9. You got, who is it? Daniel Jones, Mariota's QB8. Daniel Jones is QB9. And you have Geno Smith as QB7. Any three of those names, did you expect to be in the top 10? Probably not.
No,
but if you got one of those three, trading Kyler Murray is a little bit more acceptable.
Yep. Next one from Blake. Alan Lazard, Christian Kirk, Michael Pittman. Got to sit one. That one's easy for me. That one's Lazard with him dealing with that injury.
Yes. Agreed.
Dion said Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback. So
yeah, okay, then I don't know if he gave up too much then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't give up too much then, in my opinion, because you have Patrick Mahomes as the backup. Damn, I wish I was in your league to have Kyler Murray and Mahomes.
Do I start Singletary or Garrett Wilson this week? Josh, that's Singletary for me. Much
Singletary. Safer. Yes. Good news for Garrett Wilson. Tre'Davious White was activated off the IR, but will not play, but still a tough-ass matchup.
Sure. From Michael, what's up, man? Pick 2 PPR, Michael Carter, Khalil Herbert, Drake London. I'm going to go with the running backs there.
Yeah, man, I go Michael Carter and Drake London. Even though Drake London's been abysmal lately, I still think he's a little bit safer than Herbert.
No, Mike.
Herbert doesn't get involved in the passing game, which means you're banking on a touchdown. Because we saw what Dameon Pierce did this week with no touchdown and no passing work. Congratulations. In our league, not in regular leagues.
He still had 13 points. Mike, Drake London hasn't scored 13 points since week 2, probably.
You think Khalil Herbert's going to get enough carries to get 139 yards to even get you that many points? He has to get 100 yards with no catches, no touchdowns to get you 10 points.
No, I don't think he's going to do that, man. But he has been much
Which means Drake London can catch one pass and outscore him.
But he hasn't in 6 weeks, Mike. I'm trying to pull up Fantasy Pros. I bet you Herbert has outscored Drake London the last 5 games in half PPR format. So Drake London is not safer. That's just the wrong comment.
First of all, it's PPR, not half PPR. The question is PPR. You got to know your audience here. It's not half PPR.
Okay.
You said half PPR. He's outscored.
Pull up Drake London. Pull up Drake London's stats.
All right. Get to the next question. We'll bounce back to this one.
I'm pulling up Herbert's PPR games right now. The last 3 weeks, man, he's finished as RB28, RB18, and RB15. 7 attempts, 74 yards. 12 attempts, 62 yards.
We're talking points, not the finish.
He caught a touchdown. Points. It's gonna bite you in the ass when you pull up Drake London stats and realize he hasn't finished as a top 50 wide receiver since week 3.
I understand he hasn't finished as a top 50 wide receiver.
So what is giving you the idea that he's gonna finish any better this week?
What did Herbert say you said he finished as the past 3 weeks?
RB28, RB18.
I want to know the points, not the finish. The points.
7.5, 15.7, and 15.9.
All right, and those 15-point games, did he have a touchdown in them?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so the touchdown made him relevant because otherwise he'd be at about 9 points, 8 points. All right.
Drake still outproduced Drake London.
Drake London the past 3 games has 7, 1.9, and 7.1. All right, but that's with no touchdowns. Khalil Herbert only has touchdowns that are bringing him up. That's it. If he doesn't get a touchdown.
You're right. I forgot touchdowns isn't part of fantasy football, man.
I never said it wasn't, but you know as well as I do that you can't predict touchdowns.
But Mike, you can predict that Drake London's not going to score touchdowns because he's not getting opportunities to.
I can predict Drake London's probably going to get at least 4 to 5 targets.
Great. Khalil Herbert's going to get 10 carries at least. He's got 12 and 16 his last 2 games.
Justin Fields is not running the ball more, so that takes away from Khalil Herbert as well.
And he's still scoring. That's my point. He's a part of this offense, but we got to move on, man. We're been beating this horse too bad.
I know. I think
your logic doesn't make any sense.
for a guy that is such a believer in David Montgomery, I don't know how you can believe Khalil Herbert is.
David Montgomery has nothing to do with this. We're talking Drake London or Khalil Herbert.
I know. I understand that. But we're also talking opportunities, and who's taking opportunities away from Khalil Herbert? David Montgomery.
Drake London doesn't have any opportunities because they don't throw the ball.
You can't say he doesn't have any. That's a lie. He got 5 last week.
What about... Please list off the wide receiver finishes for Drake London since week 3. Please list them off. It shows you right in Fantasy Pros. It shows you where they finished.
I wasn't on Fantasy. I was in Fantasy Data.
Wide receiver 33 on the week. So consensus has him as a start too, which is wild to me. But in PPR formats, he has since week 3.
Throw ball.
Since week 3, he's finished as wide receiver 79, 56, 49, 85, and 56. And you're recommended to start him over a guy who's finished as a top 30 running back in 3 straight weeks.
Oh my gosh, you're also talking about a position that's been struggling this year too. Running backs have been worse than wide receivers.
Drake London has.
You would agree on that?
Drake London hasn't scored 15 fantasy points since week 2, and Khalil Herbert's done it the last 2 weeks. We got to move on, though,
man. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
I know it's off topic because he's
my point is you missed my point, but go on. You totally missed my point from the whole thing about touchdown keeping him relevant. That's all. That was my whole point. A touchdown is keeping him relevant. Without a touchdown, it's not relevant.
I know it's off topic because he's on a bye, but thoughts on Edmonds? Does he get back to what he's doing in Arizona and Denver? No, Sean. I'm not a big fan of Chase Edmonds going.
He's third string behind Latavius and Melvin.
We got the next question here. Where are we at? I'm projected to lose by I don't even know what question. He's projected to lose by a bunch, so he was the Drake London question. If that changes the analysis at all.
I mean, Drake London's gonna give you a higher ceiling than Khalil Herbert. Not a safer floor though. If you want, I mean, I understand the Falcons don't throw the ball, but they're playing the Chargers. I mean,
We got thoughts on Tyler Algier, Caleb Huntley. With Cordero Patterson going back, man, unfortunately, I think it just leads to kind of a mess of a split. And I think Cordero Patterson comes out on top because he has most of going to get most of the passing game, even though he didn't at the start. But if there is a running back who's going to get the passing down work, it's going to be Cordero Patterson. Do you agree, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. They wouldn't have activated him off IR if they wouldn't be using him. That was the whole thing. But it's going to be CPAT. So I'm not high on Tyler Algier and Huntley with Pat back.
Agreed. Would you do Brady or Trevor Lawrence? Mike, I'll let you take
Lawrence.
This one away. Yep. Go ahead. Maybe you want to give a little bit more thoughts on
It's just easily Trevor Lawrence. He plays the Raiders. The Raiders allow the most points per quarterback. I mean, they made Russell Wilson finish as a QB3 this year. They made Ryan Tannehill finish as a QB8. Davis Mills finished as a QB8. I mean, the worst finish that QB finish that the Raiders have allowed is Andy Dalton at QB16, and that was last week. Trevor Lawrence is better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I agree. It's Trevor Lawrence for sure. Deion Jackson or Deonta Foreman? This is a really good question, Joel. I like this one. That's really tough too because we see Deonta Foreman be the waiver wire dandy the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Especially with Chuba being out. But I really like Deion Jackson, and I like what we saw earlier this season on him. So if you got an answer for it, Mike, go ahead while I think on this.
I mean, it's pretty close here because you're dealing with both an RB2, in my opinion, both kind of a higher upside RB2 with the way the work they're getting. Now, Deion Jackson has a tougher matchup against the Patriots here, where the Panthers play the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals ain't no slouch this year on their defense, but New England is better, and you know how they do. They take away the number one threat in the offense. And if it's going to be Deion Jackson or Michael Pittman, I am concerned for Deion Jackson's ceiling. The volume is there. But Deontay Foreman wouldn't surprise me with playing the Bengals when, if he got another 2 touchdowns. It wouldn't surprise me because who else is going to score touchdowns for him? It's either DJ Moore or Foreman right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes me lean Foreman by a smidge for sure.
It's close, though.
Like you said, it's not an easy matchup for Jackson either against Patriots.
No, it is not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick did the good old thing and made Sam Ehlinger see ghosts.
We got a kicker question, Mike. McPherson or Lutz? I'm looking to see. McPherson is
Panthers, and then Lutz plays the Ravens
at home, so Lutz is kicking in a dome.
McPherson is outdoors.
Outdoors in Carolina. I think I would still probably go Evan McPherson, man. I'm just looking at ECR right now and kicker rankings, and he's kicker 4. And Will Lutz is 15. Yeah, so I think I lean McPherson.
I lean McPherson too, just because last week was kind of a 2 off for the Bengals. They've had 2 weeks now where their offense has just kind of imploded from the inside. But this is a good matchup for them against the Panthers to get back on track. You want the kicker and the better offense. The Bengals are clearly the better offense than the Saints. Yeah. So I lean McPherson as well.
Next one from Cody, 2RB. I have Patterson, Deion Jackson, and Foreman. You go Jackson and Foreman here with Cordero just coming back from an injury and kind of with the big committee we just talked about a few minutes ago going on over there. So I go Jackson and Foreman. Mike, how about you?
Man, I am a little concerned with Patterson coming off the injury. But yeah, I still go Deion Jackson and Foreman here. I ride the hot hand with these two. Patterson, he's not hot anymore. He's coming off an injury. He's a little bit cold, so we got to see it before at least I got to see it before I put him back in the lineup. Unless I'm desperate. I mean, I'm desperate in one league. I'm putting him in. That's because of bye weeks and injuries, though.
I had to put him in something too this morning.
But if you got other options,
yeah, for sure. Yep. Lazard or Juju? That one's Juju for me. Easy. Yep.
Juju. Yeah, Juju's starting to see it's starting to actually produce with that 20% target share finally.
Yes, he is. But Mike, we can go ahead and jump into our Facebook questions here. If you want to read them off, or you want me to? You pick.
You can start off real quick. I'll take them from you in a little bit here.
All right, we got Jarvis Landry if he plays Hunter Renfrow or Robert Woods at my flex half PPR. I'm going to go Renfrow because the worry of Malik Willis playing this week again, and we're not sure about Tannehill. So I would actually go Hunter Renfrow, which isn't great either by any means.
No, these are not great options. Robert Woods is almost not startable. I mean, even with Tannehill at this point, they just run the ball too much. Man, that sucks because Landry has a tough matchup too. I go Hunter Renfrow then, yeah, because they're probably going to be in a dogfight against the Jags.
Yeah, agreed.
Hunter Renfrow, but it's not by much.
Morning, Trey. Full PPR. Sit one. Juju, Boyd, or Josh Palmer. Thank you, and good luck today. Good luck to you as well, Trey. Wow, this sucks.
I don't think you agree with me, but I said Boyd.
That's actually who I was thinking, man. I think that's where you go as well. I think Josh Palmer is going to be used a ton in the passing game with the Chargers with no Keenan Allen, no Mike Williams.
I'll say it every week. The Falcons allow the most points per game to wide receivers, so great matchup for Palmer.
I agree. So I think we agree that Boyd is the sit. We got Devin Duvernay or Jacoby Myers half-point PPR. Jacoby, all I do is catch touchdown Myers, Mike.
That's not the case with him. But I still lean Jacoby Myers.
I do as well. The regression just finally came back to him after not catching touchdowns for the first 2 years of his career. Pretty much, he's caught 3 or 4 this year already.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how many he caught, but yeah, he's caught at least 3.
From Austin, pick 2 PPR: Dobbs, Lazard, Patterson, Khalil Herbert. Pick a 2 here. PPR. Pick a 2. Lazard. I'm not gonna say Lazard, man, because he's dealing with that injury. Is he active, Mike? I missed that when you were going through the actives.
I did not. It was a game time decision. I didn't get that. It was just questionable still, and I haven't even gotten an update for it on Twitter yet. Usually I get a Twitter update. No,
Yeah.
nothing yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Damian Harris inactive though. That's what I thought.
Man,
Zach Moss, McKissick. Yeah,
I think
I don't see anything for him. Oh no, okay. I did. All right, I found it. Lazard, Christian Watson, good to go for the Lions. He is officially active.
so maybe you do start Lazard today.
Yeah. I'm still concerned with the injury. I mean, if you want to be concerned about the injury, you got CPAC coming off the waiver wire too. But I lean Lazard and Patterson.
Yeah, I could rock with that. I think I agree with you. Eddie said he is playing. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Is your buddy John, Mike, Jacoby Myers, or Lazard?
Lazard is definitely your ceiling play there, John, but the injury concerns me a little bit. If he takes one hard fall, he could be out for the rest of the game. Jacoby Myers is a little bit safer here. Are you down from Thursday night's game, John? If you're down, go Lazard, but if you want to play it safe, go Jacoby. He's getting a nice safe floor of targets.
Mm-hmm. I go with Jacoby there. Next one, who should I start? Curtis Samuel or Devin Duvernay at the flex? That one's Duvernay for me. I think Curtis Samuel's kind of been trending down a little bit with Taylor Heinicke as his quarterback. I don't have stats pulled up to back that up. I'm just going off the eye test, Mike. Do you agree here, or do you go Curtis Samuel?
Taylor Heinicke started 2-3 weeks now. I mean, last week he did get 8 targets from him.
Okay,
only 4 the past week. I mean, the big jump is Terry McLaurin the past 3 games. He's gotten the jump in the target share, 23.8. Curtis Samuel's still hanging around 20.2. I think I lean. I do lean Curtis Samuel. I think a little bit more than Duvernay, just because the Ravens might not need to pass a whole lot to beat the Saints.
Yeah, I heard that. Eddie's wondering if Ike's hungover. No, I think
Wrong person.
If anyone is hungover, it would be me. We got some stories to tell after our good friend Pete's 30th birthday party last night. Shout out to friend Pete. We got one more. Swift or CPAT at the flex, and thanks. Interesting. Interesting question here, man. Dude.
It's not even a question between like ceiling and floor for me in this case. It's more of a question of who's going to get the more work, Swift or CPAT.
I know. That's exactly where I'm thinking, man.
I lean CPAT for the safe play here. I do think he'll get just a little bit more work than Swift. Because Swift is on the snap count. I don't see Patterson being on a snap count, but I do think Swift has the higher ceiling easily. We've seen him, what he could do on a snap count. He scored a touchdown on a snap count earlier this year. So, I mean, the ceiling plays Swift, the safe play is CPAT right there.
Yeah, I really want to say DeAndre Swift, man, because if he just breaks one run for a touchdown, a long one. But yeah, CPAT, I guess, he is safer. But if you need a little bit of hoping for a boom, I think you go Swift. And we got another one. Pick 2, Likely, Hawk, and Mooney. I like Isaiah Likely over Hawk this week because of him joining a new offense. So I'm going to go Likely, and I'm going to go Mooney here.
I go... Man, I did get the update that Kevin McConnell said that TJ Hawkinson was going to play a lot today. I still lean Hawkinson over Likely, and I'd go Mooney.
Sure. Pick 2, Swift, Williams, Carter. It's Jamal Williams, yeah.
It's Jamal Williams and Carter for me.
Williams and Carter, Gary. Yeah.
I switched it up. It was Swift and Williams originally here, but James Robinson is doubtful, which means Carter is going to get majority of the workload here, which means he's a little bit safer than Swift.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised if Swift scores a touchdown on your bench, dude. That's the problem. It would not surprise me if he gets 10 touches and gets a touchdown. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Or breaks a big 50-yard run. It's really tough but you got to go with the guys who are going to be on the field more, man.
Exactly.
I think that's your play here.
With the news of Robinson being doubtful, I lean Carter just a smidge more.
Yep. Yep. From Dion again, we got CH or Drake. That was Drake for me, I think.
That one is Drake here, but if you want to be balls to the wall, chase that ceiling, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all he does is get touchdowns this year. You want to talk about a guy who just gets touchdowns? That's Clyde.
Yeah. My Mooney thoughts are it's going to be a little windier today, but I think we've seen him getting more and more worked in the offense, and they're trying to get him the ball more. The addition of Chase Claypool, I think, opens up more stuff for this offense. It takes more eyes off of Darnell Mooney as well. So those are my thoughts there. And this offense is coming around. Justin Fields is starting to figure things out.
I like the safety and security of Hawk over Likely a little bit more. I just with the Lamar question we got, or the Duvernay question we got a little bit earlier. I really don't think the Ravens will have to pass very much against the Saints. All right, which means likely. I mean, you're kind of banking on a touchdown at that point. I mean, so I do lean Mooney a little bit more here. I mean, granted, skewed statistic, the last 3 games, he's got a 32.9% target share, and they are passing the ball more. All right, Justin Fields is opening up the offense a little bit more with his legs, which means they got to pay more attention to him, which means that leaves Darnell Mooney on the outside more. Darnell Mooney's an outside receiver. Claypool's a slot receiver. He's going to be taking that slot role for Mooney. So Mooney doesn't have to play the slot role, which means Mooney can go deep, which means Justin Fields can throw that deep ball, which he loves to do to Mooney. So, I mean, I lean Mooney just a little bit more than Likely, and I just trust Hawkinson a little bit more than Likely.
I get that. Then from Dean, Waller or Dawson? Waller's
out.
He's inactive, Dean, so you're going Dawson Knox there. We got Brian Robinson or Eno Benjamin. This is go Brian Robinson, man, because it sounds like James Conner is likely to play. He's going to be limited. It's going to be split, I'm going to assume. Same like the Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson's going to be split. But I think we have a better chance of Brian Robinson perhaps falling into the end zone. And I think that's where I lean.
I think, oh, man. I still lean Eno Benjamin just a little bit here. And my thoughts are, all right, even when Connor was in, Eno Benjamin still got targets. Brian Robinson is not getting any targets with Antonio Gibson out there. And McKissick is out. I mean, that could maybe funnel a target or two to Robinson. But it's clear that he's the early down back. Gibson's the third down back in this case. So I lean Benjamin just a little bit more because I don't trust Connor. Yeah. I don't trust the health of Connor.
Rib injuries are sketchy. I think that's what he's got, right? That's what he's been dealing with.
Yes. My only thing with Robinson, man, is he's like a generic version of Dameon Pierce. He doesn't get any PPR work. It's all just rushing work. And
yeah, Dameon Pierce is much better. He's
exactly.
You were right. He's the Dollar Tree brand of
pretty
Dameon
much.
Pierce, yeah.
He doesn't get any passing work like Dameon Pierce. I mean, Dameon Pierce was getting a little bit earlier in the year. I mean, but right now it's kind of faded away.
Mm-hmm. Jumping back into our other questions, Mike, we got Rondale Moore versus the Seahawks or DJ Moore versus the Bengals. Are you going to recommend DJ Moore for a second week in a row?
That is the question here. No. Chidobe Awuzie did go on the IR. No, I still lean Rondale Moore. If it was a different option, I'd go DJ Moore.
Yeah, I go Rondale Moore as well. I actually commented on it, and we went different from him. He went DJ Moore. So,
and he went the Bengals. Man, they have a tougher defense, but so is the Seahawks. Seahawks defense has actually been pretty good as well.
Stiffening up, man, for sure.
I just think Hopkins opens up that offense so much more for Rondale Moore. We saw what Moore can do with Hopkins in the lineup. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I can see why you'd want to go DJ Moore, chase the points, but I think more Rondale is just a little bit safer.
Agreed. Singletary or Foreman? That one's Foreman for me, but it's close.
Singletary or Foreman? Yeah, it's Foreman. He's going to get more of the work. Yeah, he's going to. It's him, especially with Chuba Hubbard, who was ruled out.
Fournette or Cordero Patterson? He has Sanders, and he played on Thursday, obviously. I'm going Fournette here either way.
Is this the Facebook question or is this a live one?
No, this is one of the Facebook questions from Chuck.
Yeah.
Fournette or Cordero Patterson?
There it is. I found it now. It's Fournette. You play Fournette over Patterson.
Next one from
I was
Brian,
looking at the one below that for some reason. I don't know why. Go on. Kenyon Drake and Antonio Gibson, or is that
yep,
what?
Yep, Kenyon Drake or Antonio Gibson. I go Gibson. No, I caught myself. I'll go Kenyon Drake. Kenyon
Drake's the safer. No, I lean Gibson. I lean Gibson over Drake. Yes. I do lean Gibson. He got 7 targets last week. Does Kenyon Drake get 7 targets in that offense? I don't think so. I'll check real quick. Kenyon Drake had 4 targets last week. He's had 7 targets in the past 3 games total. So Antonio Gibson.
We got Darnell Mooney or Rondell Moore.
Two little small guys.
It's
Two little small guys. I am intrigued by Darnell Mooney this week. I really do think this is probably. But yeah, it's more.
Jamal Williams or Olave in the flex. That's what I go. I lead Olave. I wish we knew if it was PPR or half PPR.
Yeah, PPR you go Olave, half PPR you go Jamal Williams.
That's where I'm going as well. Need help for my flex spot. Start one. Darnell Mooney, Deion Jackson, Devin Singletary. That one's Deion.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup, but he's going to get the most work out of all 3 of those.
Yep. We starting Deion Jackson over a limited Swift PPR from Dan. We are.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
It's just not great, man. Like I said, won't be shocked if Swift has literally more total yards than Deion Jackson, but Jackson gets more work.
Yeah, agreed. Start one. Tony Pittman, Rondell Moore. Well, it doesn't say which more. We're going to throw Rondell in this one, and Christian Kirk. Start one only.
It's Kirk for me.
I think you're still starting Pittman. He still saw 8 targets last week or whatever it was. Second week in a row, or this is going to be the second start for Eleanor. Yeah. Second start for Eleanor. I think that's where I lean. I'm still rolling with him.
I just don't like the matchup against Bill Belichick, man. That's my problem. I like Kirk against the Raiders a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Full PPR, we got Boyd, Kirk, or Connor. That was Kirk for B.
Yeah, that's Kirk, but I mean, I could see you putting Boyd in there as well. I don't trust Connor this week. Does anybody trust Connor?
No, you can't trust him.
No.
Need to pick up a tight end for the bye. Need to drop either Kadarius Toney or Nyheim Hines.
Tony.
Yeah, it's Tony too. It's tough out on the streets though, man, because you'd like to at least have him on the bench and see what he's part of in this.
That's true,
Chiefs
but I mean, you're gonna have a lot easier time finding a replacement for Kadarius Toney than you're gonna have finding a replacement for Nyheim Hines. That's the problem. It's replacement value here. Nyheim Hines is a back that has a heartbeat and a pulse on a good offense. Yep. Kadarius, I mean, I can't. Benjamin. I mean, when he gets the opportunity, I mean, he's like that as well. I mean, you're not dropping Benjamin, you're keeping him as that handcuff, and that's what Nyheim Hines is. So, Kadarius Toney's not really a handcuff.
Yeah, agreed. We got Al Nazard, Kadarius Toney, or Gabe Davis. Go Gabe Davis here.
I go Gabe Davis as well. I think Sauce Gardner will give Stephon Diggs just a little bit of a tougher matchup than expected, and will force Gabe Davis a little bit more targets.
We got DeAndre Swift or Isaiah Likely, non-PPR at the flex.
Non-PPR. That sucks. I lean Swift.
I think I do too. From Brian, Justin Herbert or Tua Tagovailoa? Go Justin Herbert. Man, I know Atlanta still sucks defensively.
They do. Atlanta does suck defensively. Man, who the Dolphins play?
The Bears. Yep. And the Bears, the Bears don't have many strengths on that defense, Mike, but the secondary is definitely better than
it's Herbert.
Their run defense. Yeah.
It's Herbert, yeah. I mean, the thing about The thing why the Dolphins had to pass so much last week and they didn't run the ball because they had a great run matchup for Mostert is because the Lions jumped out to such a big lead, which then caused the Dolphins not to be able to run the ball because of the negative game script. The way the Bears run their offense, I cannot see them jumping out to a early lead on the Dolphins like the Lions did.
Agreed.
All right. I think it'll be competitive back and forth all day for the most part, which I think, it gives Herbert more of the upside here playing the Falcons because everybody who plays the Falcons destroys them.
Sure. Got a couple of live comments, Mike. We got James Robinson is playing. Damn it. Yeah, that sucks for the Carter owners.
Really?
But he's still going to be limited. He's still going to be limited. So I think you're still going Carter, Gary. And then we got Kirk Cousins or Tua Tagovailoa today, Mike.
It's Kirk.
Who do they play? You got it up or no?
The Vikings?
Yeah.
They play the Commanders.
I'm going to go Kirk there as well then. I agree with you. We got, should I start Bucks defense or Rams defense playing against each other? I'm all right with the Rams.
Bucks. I prefer the Rams defense.
But like I said, if the Chiefs are out on waiver wire or something, go out and get the Chiefs against Tennessee tonight. I do like that as well.
Yeah, because the defense with defenses, you want sacks and interceptions. I don't think you're going to get very better interceptions off Tom Brady, but you're going to get a lot of sacks on it with that Rams defense.
From Brian, need 2 wide receivers.
Wow, he will play. Oh, what the hell?
Mike Evans, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Josh Palmer need 2. You go Mike Evans and you go Amon-Ra because he's not going to see Jair all the time. Those are the 2 that I'm going.
I still lean Amon-Ra and Mike Evans.
Yep.
Yeah, man, Palmer is juicy though. Palmer is juicy.
Yes, he is. James Conner, Khalil Herbert, half PPR.
This one I'll give you Herbert for. Just because I trust Herbert will play more than Connor.
Ooh, Foreman or St. Brown, Mike?
That PPR full.
It doesn't say.
It's just say
the flex. I think it's. He does show his roster though. Let's check this out. He's got Waddle and Higgins starting as his 2 other wide receiver spots. Chris Godwin on the bench and St. Brown on the bench, man.
I think you go Foreman.
I think you do too, but it sucks leaving those other 2 guys on your bench. That's very, very annoying. Flex Jamal Williams or Deion Jackson? Jackson for me.
Yeah, it's Deion Jackson. Jamal Williams is appealing there, but it's Deion Jackson gets more of the work.
Got wide receivers. Pick 2: DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Chris Olave, and Adam Thielen.
It is Metcalf and Olave for me.
Agreed. Man, we're agreeing the last few too much. I don't like it. Devin Duvernay, Thielen, Palmer, pick 1 PPR. How one's Josh Palmer?
Yeah, we're gonna agree again. It's Palmer for me.
Cordero Patterson.
Like upside.
Yep, Cordero Patterson, Eno Benjamin, or Devin Singletary at RB2 PPR. It's Devin Singletary. I just feel like you said earlier, I got to see it a little bit up. I got to see it a little bit more from Patterson with him. Yeah. I got to see what that committee shapes out to be.
I'm just my only concern here is Patterson. I think gets more of the work than Singletary because I am a little concerned with Nyheim Hines just eating into the PPR value of Singletary a little bit, but that's more rest of season. I lean Singletary this week, but I think I lean Patterson rest of season if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. PPR Josh Palmer or Gabe Davis. This is one of the safer guy or
safer ceiling. Guy. Yeah. Are you down big because Hurts and AJ Brown went off on you? You go Josh. I think Gabe Davis. Yeah, Gabe Davis. But the safe play here in my opinion, is Palmer.
Yeah, I exactly agree with you. I agree. If you're chasing points or you're projected to lose by a lot, I'd go Gabe Davis. But
if you want to play it safe, you go Palmer. He's going to get peppered with targets today.
Cordero Patterson or Mixon this week and rest of the season. I think it's Mixon for both.
It's mixing for both.
Uh,
It is just more work, way more work.
We got 5 minutes left, so let's kind of just rapid fire through these. We got Gabe Davis, Deion Jackson, Romeo Dobbs, sit one. That one's easy for me. That's your sit Dobbs.
Man, yeah, you're sitting Dobbs. It's not fun, but you're sitting Dobbs.
Top
All
wide
right.
receiver play standard: DK versus the Cardinals, Tyler Boyd versus the Panthers, DJ Moore versus the Bengals.
DK still. He's got your best chance for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's DK. From Joseph, Ertz or Pitts? That one's Pitts for me. You're to say Ertz, aren't you?
Man, it is encouraging for Pitts here. I gotta go check out Ertz's targets the past couple games. That's the one thing that concerns me. Give me 1 second. Ertz, 4 and 5 targets since Hopkins come back. Oh, I think I lean Pitts. It's not great, but I lean Pitts.
We got Khalil Herbert or Devin Duvernay. I'm gonna go Duvernay there.
Yeah, I lean Duvernay here, but I mean, I think you are a little bit safer with Herbert. I just think Duvernay gets you more points possibly, but it's going to be off of a long touchdown.
So we just got a live comment from Spubsy. PPR need to Swift, Forbid, Dion. You're sitting Swift here, man. With those other options you got.
Only because you have those other options. Yeah. Only because you have those other options. That's all. Otherwise, you'd be playing Swift.
Next one, we got Flex. T. Higgins, Jacoby Myers, Cordero Patterson, or Chris Olave. That's T. Higgins.
It's T. Higgins. Try to work Olave in there if you can, man.
Yeah. Swift, Deion Jackson. Just breeze through that. We already pretty much just did that. It's Deion Jackson. We got Swift and Jamal Williams versus Green Bay, Gibson versus Minnesota, Singletary at the Jets, need to full PPR.
Jamal and I think Gibson.
I actually lead Singletary and Gibson.
I lean Gibson here over Singletary because of the fact McKissick has been ruled out. So it gives Gibson a little bit more PPR value, where Singletary gets his taken away by Hines a little bit.
Josh Palmer or Foreman? Back to our live questions. We got
Foreman's a safe play there.
Yep.
Yeah, Foreman's a safe play, man. But if you're down, you go Palmer.
Another one. We got Evan Ingram or Tyler Higbee. Evan Ingram, man, to the moon. Let's go.
I wouldn't say to the moon, but I do like his matchup this week. He's got a great matchup against the Raiders. It is Evan Ingram by a slight tick.
Tick. What do we got here? We got Devin Duvernay or Michael Pittman.
Oh, God. Michael Pittman.
It's Michael Pittman.
It's Michael Pittman.
Marshall was worried, too. Caps locks were on for that one. Now, Palmer, Eno, or Dion? It's Dion over Palmer.
Palmer, Eno, or Dion? Ah, man. It's Dion or Palmer. Dion's a safe play. Palmer's your ceiling play.
From Sean, Garrett Wilson, Kenyon Drake, or DeAndre Swift? Kenyon Drake for me.
Man, those two matchups, man. Garrett Wilson sucks. Swift's getting snap counted. It's Kenyon Drake just because of those.
And then let's do 2 more, Mike. What do you say? 2 more. We got for running back start 2, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Fat Lenny, Ramondre Stevenson. That one's Ramondre Stevenson and Dalvin Cook for me, I think.
Man, you got some great ass running backs.
Yeah, you do.
That's gonna take me a second. Raiders play Jags.
We don't have seconds, man. It's 11:29 Central.
Seconds is seconds. I mean, it's Ramondre Stevenson and it's Dalvin Cook.
And then we got David Montgomery or Deion Jackson to wrap the show up, Mike, and then you could just take us out. I'm gonna go Deion Jackson there, full PPR as well.
Yeah, it's I think it's David Montgomery for me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, better matchup. Gooder matchup, you know.
Gooder
matchup. All right.
Hold on.
Okay.
Just got one more.
Yep.
One through. Michael Pittman Jr., Adam Thielen, Cordero Patterson. You're picking 2. I'm gonna go Pittman And Adam, I'm a ton of a Thielen.
I lean. You're playing Pittman because that's the one we agree on, but I lean Cordell Patterson over Thielen.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. That was fun, guys. Another edition of the Sunday Social Podcast live stream, whatever you want to call it. We're just glad to help in the books. All right.
All those questions today, man. It was great.
I know. It was great. We really do appreciate all the questions, guys. We love answering them for you. We hope you're back next week to ask some more questions. Make sure you go check out, our plans at fantasy6pack.net if you're interested in talking to us or our top 15 ranked rankers right now and Fantasy Pros competition. So, I mean, you get a lot of good, juicy information from there. Make sure you hit the like buttons, subscribe to us, man. If you are interested in watching us, we come out with weekly content daily, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pretty much Tuesday. I think is the only day we really don't have a video right now. Yep. And then make sure you check out the recap for the Sunday games with me and Dylan. We do the Last Call podcast, give you just a quick kind of recap of the Sunday's action. But yeah, this was a blast, guys. I always have fun doing this. I know Dylan, he doesn't have a smile on his face, but he's having fun.
I'm a little hungover to be smiling all that.
That's commitment. That's commitment. You're hungover and you're still trying to ask questions for people.
Yes, sir. We got one more, man. Jose, and Jose comes back to us every week. We appreciate the comments. Like we said, we got Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Swift, Antonio Gibson to close the show. Mike, sit one, full PPR. You're sitting DeAndre Swift, I think, with those other two options.
I don't want to, but yeah. I mean, your safer play is Drake and Gibson. If you want to play it risky, I would go Gibson and Swift. I think the PPR value is just a little bit higher there because Swift if he gets 5 targets, man, he could turn that into 60 yards at a touchdown.
Yep. So thanks, Jose.
Thanks, man. Hey, thanks everyone, guys. Make sure you check out, all of our stuff coming out on the YouTube channel, fantasy6pack.net, guys. We really enjoy it. For Dylan, I'm Mike. Everyone, good luck in week 9.